How about now? Can you hear me now? I can hear me now.
Okay.
I'm an idiot. That we've 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 got a lot nicer mic to use that actually does improve the sound quite a bit. That I kind of keep it tucked up out of there, but it's got a preamp, a phantom power into it, and I forgot to turn on the phantom power to it, so it was never powered up. I'm horribly sorry about that, and I should have been looking down here to realize that it wasn't broadcasting.
Thank you for joining again with us, Brandon. We
Definitely
appreciate
thank you for joining with us today, and we appreciate the heads up that what was going, to let us know something wasn't quite right. That I'm still figuring a lot of this stuff out.
Yeah.
I worked with trying to get the scheduled live stream figured out, because when we'd schedule the live stream, it automatically went to streaming software, not to the default webcam. Which I've got streaming software, so that wouldn't have been a huge deal if I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
But I did figure out if you go in and start it as a webcam live stream and schedule, it'll work that way. But if you do the schedule live stream button, it automatically defaults to the streaming software. So in the future, I may start doing that a little bit better, because I got a little bit more control that way and can do a few more really cool things and all kinds of fun garbage like that. If I have a more permanent place set up to do this, would be really cool to do. But trying to do it from a kitchen table here in a studio condo is just not terribly conductive. So, and this stuff is evolving as we go along too. That we are swapping over, it seems, to more of a live streaming channel than a video channel. But welcome to times. That we kind of talked about it, and we like the idea of scheduling these live streams.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to start with scheduling them just a few hours in advance so people know about it.
Yeah.
And then we'll start,
Maybe a day in advance.
Then we'll start playing more like that, scheduling a day or two in advance. Now, I know the thing that happens with me that Love Beyond the Sea was doing a lot of scheduled live streams, and he'd schedule them 2 or 3 days in advance, and I'd forget about them. And so, unless I had set an alarm or something like that to remind myself, I'd forget about it and wind up not watching it. That we're kind of thinking probably scheduling it about an hour or so in advance.
That works perfectly fine for us for now, right?
Yeah, that our life isn't scheduled that far in advance typically.
We're like juggling, like we're like this.
Yeah, I definitely feel like a hamster on a wheel some days. A whole lot of running and not a whole lot of getting anywhere.
Yeah. 2 for advanced stuff, but 5 minutes or 10 minutes is not bad. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and that's why I'm thinking of probably about an hour in advance would be the best.
Yeah.
And that gives everybody time enough that oh yeah, that's coming up, and not so much time that it gets forgotten about.
Where is Brandon? Where are you again, Brandon? We forgot. Our memory is just so. Okay, New Zealand. Okay, that's right. You're from New Zealand.
No, David Brown's from
Oh, hi, David. I just suddenly.
David Brown's from New Zealand.
Okay. Oh, okay,
Good morning
Brandon.
from New Zealand.
Okay, Brandon is from Phoenix, the same from us. Which part of Phoenix? We're in.
Yeah, I tease people.
Memory short.
My memory's a lot like Cindy. It's really good, but a tad bit short. Where are you from in Phoenix? I think we've had this discussion. I'm pretty sure we've had this discussion.
Yes, we do. We forgot it.
You need to get some 3x5 note cards and just. Levine, Southwest Valley. Levine.
Oh,
Levine. Who do I know?
we went there on the market on the move.
Oh, yeah.
Hi,
So we-
David. Also,
That we have some friends down in Levine, don't we?
yes,
Uh
Virgie Brown and Freddie Brown. Levine, they own gym and that packaging something.
that there's a couple of Phil-Am couples down in Levine area. Do you know any of them by chance, Brandon? That
Don't mind me. Continue there. I'm doing my homework. I think we ran each other at the art ceremony before the channel.
Bill ceremony before the channel. Cindy's oath taking? That was last year.
2018.
Yeah,
Did you give her
2019.
channel to?
Maybe. I had cards for a long time that I was passing out. Yeah, because it was in September.
At the courthouse. You're upstairs taking pictures of me. Cool.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. That
I was giving a speech on that. That's embarrassing.
It was cute. I liked it.
I feel like I was volunteering myself on that day. Our friend. Okay, that's me.
That
Okay, see, remember me speaking. If someone remember it, I thought it's just you, me, and my friends would remember it.
that for an impromptu speech like that I think I was kind of impressed with that. And obviously it must be fairly impressive if he still remembers it. You are an amazing girl, baby. You are an amazing girl, and you need to figure that one out.
Thank you. I didn't know. I was challenged with my boss on that day because he said, "You're not good," and like I already trained people.
That if anybody has any questions about what's going on in our lives, what's happening, what we've been through, today's kind of a great day to do that. That was kind of why we did the Q&A thing from our condo today.
Thank you, Brandon. Said it was a good. Okay. I guess my friend has a video on it I need to go over because I was so embarrassed to go over again and, and watch again. You don't have a video on it. Just Karen. Karen took a video of the entire speech.
I think I've got a video of it, but I don't know if I've got it here.
Yeah.
That I made the mistake of leaving one of our hard drives in the US, and I need that hard drive. How's Sun's going? Interesting.
Yeah.
That we're kind of finding we would love to stay in the
Cebu City area.
the a couple of barangays close to where we are right now.
But it's kind of like expensive too, right?
And we're finding that's a little pricey. But all we're doing at this point is Facebook ads that we're not really
Doing. Once we get sunshine, we could like.
Yeah, and that's going to be a huge thing. That with Sunshine being in the hospital for so long, Sunshine's been in a hospital almost a month now.
I like the way you said.
The poor Sunshine's almost in intensive care. But when we get that back, because I've been writing some of these neighborhoods and I'm seeing some signs about housing and I'm just not able to stop or something like that. A few times that I've went through the neighborhoods with the GoPro,
Yeah.
kind of doing a moto vlog video recording, that when I went back to review it, I just couldn't get a good enough view of the sign to get a complete phone number. So it's going okay. The condo that we looked at, the people that own this condo,
Yeah.
that they were willing to cut us a really good deal on it. Again, I think we've discussed that on this channel that they're restrictive enough. I would feel a little uncomfortable. I won't say we were made feel unwelcome, but we weren't made feel comfortable either. Yeah, that we were very uncomfortable with the way people were reacting around us.
It's just for me.
And so we decided now that we're gonna have to pass on that one.
Strict, like it seems like you cannot breathe.
And I know you would be horribly concerned on whether or not Mama and Papa were going to be welcome or moving in.
Yeah, David rather ask Brian. He gets around looking at places for rent.
That we're looking more for a house than a condo, or a townhome than a condo.
Yeah.
A lot of the condos in this area right now have got some pretty intense restrictions.
Yeah.
And so if we could find a townhome or ideally a house, we'll probably go that way. And we've got a line on a few. They're a little further away than we like, but we're finding a few that are close to where we want to be too. So,
yeah.
And at this point, we don't have a rush. That the owners of this are more than happy to let us continue for as long as we'd like. And Cindy is saying that as long as she's out of here by July, August, 6-7 months, that she's pretty confident she'd still be able to get around well at that point.
Yeah. Praying.
We're looking at a place tomorrow over in Cordoba that looks beautiful. But we're gonna have to take a cab over there.
It's 4 or 5 minutes.
That it's like 45 minutes currently. When they finish up this Cordoba, Cebu Cordoba link, the bridge,
yeah,
it'll probably make it 15-20 minutes. It will easily cut it in half.
And it would just easier to go from Cordoba to like go straight to Sibonga, you know?
And so, yeah, because it's going to put it. So that may be a possibility for us. The drawback until they get it done, it's 45 minutes from the doctor, the hospital, or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't know the actual time frame on getting that thing completed.
I like Cordoba. It's not a city. It's like a province. It's so, I would say, quiet. I've been there. Okay, given 7 years ago. I don't know now. So
well, and that's just it. Right now, because it is kind of isolated, it's almost like a province in a city.
Yeah,
it's almost like a province lifestyle in the city. That is way cool. When the Cebu Cordoba link gets finished, I'm not entirely sure that isn't going to change dramatically. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And I would definitely want to rent a place for a year to see what happens before I'd ever consider buying over there.
I agree with you, David. It would give us.
And that's the biggest reason why we're looking at a house or a townhome.
Because one, we could do grilling, which my family loves. And then we have a lot of people visiting just in case, you know, we love partying. Not really partying.
We don't throw out huge fiestas, but we do enjoy having
get together.
Get-togethers and stuff like that. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm half expecting a text that I had messaged someone about a house today too. So, and that's one of the things that, like I say, is a little bit of a drawback. All we're doing is searching online through Facebook at this point.
You never Philippines
Hey,
experience.
you're never late. You're always on time. Uh, and that's kind of the cool thing too. These is that you can pick up in the middle, and if there was something that sounds like you might have been interested in, you can notice where you came in and go back and check it out.
Yeah.
Uh,
So what we did yesterday? Oh, we pick up
yeah,
Sunshine's registration,
we picked up the registration for Sunshine,
but Rusi
but Rusi's not ready,
because it has a problem on it.
and they said it had a problem. They need to contact the dealer, but I'm not entirely sure what they need to
No,
contact
they
the
need to
dealer.
contact again the verification section in LTO because they said that some the previous one they already issue a placard, a plate, something.
They said a plate's already been issued.
Yeah, but they said they will call again and verify it, and then I will follow up with them.
I'll run up to Rusi today and check it out and see.
Yeah, check it out and ask like, do you remember if there's a problem on this when you register? Because my registration was kind of, you know, but we got Sunshine's
We got
registration.
Sunshine's registration. That was a big one. I definitely want to need to get Rusi re-registered, but uh,
Yeah, we pay penalty for Rusi
yeah, we paid a pretty big penalty for Rusi because it was over a
one
year late.
thousand no 2,400. No,
Yeah, we paid a pretty decent penalty. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but we
but
paid a
yeah,
pretty
we
decent
kind of
penalty.
like from 1,000 to 2,000.
Uh, it expired while we were out of country. That it had expired while the lockdown was heavy, and neither one of us realized it. And when we picked it up from the dealer, he didn't remind us that, hey, this thing is expired. You need to get down there.
You know the Philippines way, like they will just tell you, and suddenly there's a lot of hidden agenda, and that's why I got frustrated because you know what I mean. I try to zip up my mouth, and I can't. That's why I got an arguments, right?
That yeah, she's one of these pregnant ladies that goes from really sweet and kind to total tiger in about a heartbeat. Uh,
I can't control it. It's just I don't know.
Yesterday, you also went to the
Oh,
Bureau of Foreign Affairs or something like that.
yeah, DFA, Department of Foreign Affairs, to renew my passport.
Yeah, because she's been trying to get the online
Yeah,
renewal,
yeah.
get an online appointment. Uh, was told September was the earliest he could get into an appointment. Went down and to see whether or not you could do, just show up and get an appointment. And with that, she found that there was another link to go to that wasn't on the
On
website.
the website, yeah.
And so that one had it. And then you can get appointments for
Every Tuesday.
every Tuesday
3 p.m.
for pregnant,
senior
PDA,
yeah,
persons with disabilities,
returning OFW.
Returning OFW. That you can get a priority lane.
Yes,
So
we'll see. I'll look on that on Tuesday.
Well, I'd look at it early just to make sure. But
No, I keep looking at that every day.
oh, okay.
I'm doing my due diligence, sir.
I got a Facebook message, so I wanted to find out what that was. It's not the one I'm looking for.
I'm doing my job.
That yeah, because we we're trying to get stuff set up and established. And originally we were going to use Sabunga as a permanent address, an address or record or whatever you want. And so we're kind of debating between ourselves, do we want to use Sabunga still? or do we need to?
We need to use Sibuma still if we're still wanting.
You're still trucking, okay? Yeah, because and it is.
It's
It's
just
just being.
confusing to like put different and then you change because some other organization wants to have permanent address and then David said, "Wow, we didn't have to register in our FWF, WOF. Our vehicles for months were locked down here."
That
Wow.
I don't know what happened. That we had to get insurance for both of them.
Yeah.
Because the insurance had lapsed for both of them.
950 for each of them.
And the insurance agent offered to do all the paperwork for us instead of going through the lines.
We're just paying 300 for the service fee.
And so I don't know if you want to call that a fixer or
Yeah, kind of fixer.
Because in the U.S., I don't know about New Zealand, but in the U.S., that they do have third-party agencies that do exactly that. Because everything's online, that it's way simple to do it, and you can generally have everything you need on the way out, as you're leaving the office. But here, I guess they've got runners that go up and hand this stuff in, and it takes a couple days even for them to do it.
Yeah, it's just time.
But they hand in a batch at one time too, so and they kind of do get a little bit better priority because they do hand in an entire batch, and somebody deals with it.
Yeah.
Because unlike getting our driver's license, that that didn't go so well. And we were supposed to have had priority, but anyways.
Don't go there.
That's why I'm changing topics quick. That we don't want the tiger. We need the tiger back in our cage.
You're teaching me really well. So
That
I'll blame you.
Although it could improve our viewership if we bring out the tiger periodically.
No.
Conflict and argument actually really helps with your analytics.
Don't say that. I'm not joining you. I'll let you do it alone.
Oh no, that's good. That her brother is coming up tomorrow.
Yeah.
That he's got some
training again for promotion.
Training and a physical to do. And the bus system here, 6 p.m. is the last bus out of Cebu.
Yeah.
And that we're not still on lockdown, but there is some restrictions and stuff like that. Yeah. And there is a curfew in the entire province.
David Johnson, not here.
Okay. That and one of the Tom and Ruth Philippines was in CDO the other day and did a video, and they in CDO the last bus leaves at like 1:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah. In Mindanao they have like police that guards and check the
And so by province it gets crazy.
Aunt is from Davao, and he actually took my grandma to Bukidnon because my grandma really wants to go Bukidnon. So they hire a private vehicle, and they just want to put private vehicle. So the policeman just say, "Okay, you're good." But if it's a bus, I need to look up. It's confusing. So
yeah, and
it's changed every day.
Now, David, are you here or are you in New Zealand? That because every province is horribly different. That we've got a friend of ours,
What's his name?
A Philly and some Joe. There we go. There's another channel.
Surigao.
That they're in Surigao, and we'd like to go over there.
Butuan.
They're in Butuan City area.
With the lumpia life too? No?
But they're going to be opening a restaurant here, and we'd like to go. We're kind of planning on going. That they're going to be opening it in late May.
Yeah, depending on the restriction.
And so, depending on the restrictions, we may try and go there. That we're still kind of trying to plan a trip to Bantayan. A little bit actually going to depend.
Come join us.
We got a really big duffel bag, but I think the weight issue might be a little bit of a problem. But it'd be way less expensive than a ticket.
You're silly, John.
That yeah, so we don't know if we're going to be able to go to that one or not, and that one's just going to depend on what the restrictions are at that time. And as far as that goes, when Mama and Papa left, that they had to get all kinds of documents and stuff, and health, physicals and everything else. And I think that's part of the reason why Papa won't go through another PCR test.
He doesn't like medical, some sort of physical.
Yeah, it seems like every time he goes to a doctor, they find something wrong. But he's getting to that age too. But anyways,
David Russell.
Are they locked down in New Zealand, or are they open back up, or did they ever lock down? There's a few countries that never really locked down. But by the time they came back, they didn't need anything. Yeah. Jill went about a month ago and didn't need anything to go.
And then when he came back.
But when he came back, they wouldn't let him buy the ticket or board the ship or something like that without a bunch of paperwork. So he ran around, spent a week getting all the stinking paperwork.
And then
when he actually boarded the ship, they said, "We don't need any of that. What, go away."
He spent so much time and money.
So it just, and when Mama and Papa left, that when they left Cebu, there was no quarantine. When it's 6-8 hours later, when they arrived, they said, "Oh, there's a quarantine. You need to spend 2 weeks in quarantine." So it just, I don't know. It just gets frustrating.
David Russell in New Zealand, and then he's married to a Filipino too.
So do you guys plan on coming back, moving back, or do you own property here?
David,
I know a few of you guys do own property, but I'm not entirely sure. Again, it goes back to that memory issue.
Daniel Ford has a house in Moalboal.
Write that down so I get that info. Because
you have a really awesome secretary, sir.
I'm bragging myself. Don't laugh. I used to have an app that had stuff like this, so that I could discreetly look up info about people I was talking with, just because I've got that horrible of a memory,
sir. For now, I'm kidding.
Before cell phones, that I'd have 3x5 cards, and when I was going someplace that I knew I was going to be meeting a bunch of people,
I know somewhere
I'd grab cards that of people I believed were going to be there, and that way I could refresh my memory.
I think David said something before. Which part in the Philippines? I think maybe Cagayan or somewhere. You need to read
it's just my memory, people. I'm not being disrespectful in any way, but I have a horrible memory.
Yeah. He said we are free and travel to Australia for the last few days. So that's really cool.
Oh, New Zealand and Australia got one of those travel bubbles. That's very cool. Yeah. That they're trying to get those for different areas. Yeah. Because a few people I've talked to, Philippine Experience is actually talking about possibly going to one of the other Southeast Asian countries that's a little bit freer to get into, and hanging out there until they can get over here. And there's been a couple other people on Facebook and other places that I've been chatting with, that they're going to do the same thing, that they're real seriously thinking about getting out. And right now, the politics in the U.S. is getting really horrible.
So kuya,
And a lot of people are looking to get out of there.
So my oldest brother already scheduled an appointment for a vaccine. But because he's planning to go back here in the Philippines like June something for vacation. But the agency that he's working in would not allow them because it's okay to go home, but going back to the US restriction again. You know. Okay.
So if you go home, it's kind of permanent.
Okay, I'm right. I think Cagayan de Oro. That's why I'm about to say David Brown said Cagayan de Oro.
If this ever freaking breaks open again, and it's going to, and a lot of the things I'm seeing from the government, from posting and from Bureau of Department of Tourism and all that, I'm kind of seeing it break open sometime around August.
You think so? I think it's a year.
You think it's going to be another year?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of speculation in both directions.
No, I'm just.
Good Lord, I hope it's not two.
Hi, sis. Kamusta? Thanks for joining us, Jawan.
Maayong
buntag.
Maayong buntag.
Mayong hapon.
Where
they're
they?
Phoenix.
Oh, they're in Phoenix?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's in Phoenix. The one with the lady that we went for the wedding. The wedding. Oh,
hi. Yeah. Okay, I know you. It goes back to I need those 3x5 cards. I'm sorry. I know. My walking 3x5 card.
Not all the time.
It's kind of funny that in crowds and stuff like that, especially people that I know I should know.
Yeah.
That I'll kind of quietly, discreetly whisper into her ear, who is this and how do we know him?
So you need to attach to me all the time.
My personal assistant. But yeah, after it breaks open, we definitely want to get down to Cagayan de Oro. I would love to get up to Malaybalay. Yeah. Thank you very much. That it's very cool. And
thank you, sis. My inanak, it's my inanak is also big now. JC. Your daughter, it's my god.
Oh, very child. Cool.
Redden said, "Oh man, I asked myself other than who are these people?"
And Filipinas seem to, in particular, but women in general, have a way better memory for details like that.
Yeah,
I can tell you the proper height for an electrical box, for countertops, for floors. I can tell you PSI designs for concrete and sidewalks. That type of stuff I can tell you and don't have a problem with. Give me a name, a birth date, stuff like that. Yeah, no, I don't. And it's, I feel bad and often get embarrassed about it. But it's not. It's just my memory. It's just the way my memory works. Yeah. I keep on telling people you got to try and live in here for a while sometime. It's give you a new perspective on the world.
We remember birthdays, anniversaries, a lot of things in details, especially when we value the friends and the people that, so we put.
And I think this is true with women in general.
Yeah. We put effort in
it. But I think Filipinas are a little bit better at it than most women. Yeah. That you tend to remember relational, emotional things. Yeah. Way better than guys do. Guys tend to remember statistics, facts, and figures better than you do.
More analytical.
Yeah. We handle analytical information way better than you do. Yeah. And you guys handle the emotional, relational information way better than we do. They just don't fit in our boxes. I don't know what it is to it. You just got a countertop that everything's thrown on, and you know how to sort through that crap, and I ain't got to bring glue.
Because we have this bubble open, but the men once you have a bubble and you open
We
it,
got a
and
bunch of filing cabinets up there that we keep stuff
you
in.
close it. So that's
Yeah, I know where all the little filing cabinets are, but I don't know where this bubble that you're talking about is. But
we call it bubbles. I call it bubbles.
my bubbles all pop too quick. Uh,
You're silly.
that I'm gonna try and get it done tonight. That yeah, I just skipped a groove, so just keep up, take notes if you need to. Uh,
You just don't promise. You over promise.
I'm gonna try and get it up tonight. That what we did is we talked about it, and the other day a few people made comments that they think that'd be really cool. That we're gonna do a camera that it's got this basic view, and that way I can just highlight on zoom in and highlight on Cindy's face and get her reaction as she's watching the house tour for the first time. And then at the end of it, we'll zoom back out, and her and I'll have a discussion on the house tour and what we thought of it, and kind of give whether or not we think we're going to go for it. And in the beginning, I'm probably going to do a short clip of the Facebook ad and stuff like that, so you guys can see what's going on. Yeah, I am so horrible with names that we'd rotate foreman at work every now and then, about once a year. And it'd take me 2 to 3 months to stop calling the foreman by the previous foreman's name. And I knew the person's name, but I for some reason I'd pull a blank and call him the previous guy.
Yeah.
And it would just, like I say, names and personal information, stuff like that. Yeah, that's not me.
When I have my training before, when I used to train people, and basically we have 20, so I put name tags. It's a lot easier, especially in the first day of training, until I can memorize 20 people.
And it can be a challenge. It can definitely be a challenge with a lot of that for me. That I've known people that can do that they can be introduced to somebody once and a year later still know their name, and I have no freaking idea how they do that.
Yeah.
That back in the late 80s, when I was at college, there was a kid that he'd hustle chess. That he was one of the youngest chess federation masters in the state. That he was phenomenal at chess, and it was right at the time when these electronic chess games were coming out, that you'd have to push down the piece and then move it and push it down again to let the computer know where it was at. And he'd watch the game play, the person play a couple games on it, and then he'd go up and bet him $20 that you can pull off all the pieces and he can still beat the game. And without fail, he was able to do it. He knew enough about the game and could literally play the game entirely in his head. And how he was able to do that, it just boggles my mind. But at the same time, you could show him schematics or a blueprint, and he'd have no idea what he was looking at. It was just lines on a paper to him that it just didn't make any sense whatsoever. Yeah. And it's just the way his head was wired, I guess. Yeah. We're all wired for different things, and
yeah, we have definitely different intelligence, I would say.
And sometimes that can be a hassle too, because when some people we knew were putting in a septic tank here, that it is so far out of anything I have ever seen or done, and I still say that there's going to be some issues.
And Papa said no, so
that
I was just with Papa.
I was just leaving it at some people. I wasn't going to include who it was, but okay. When her dad was putting in a septic tank at the house, that about 3 feet down, you hit water table. that it's brackish water. It's not drinkable water, but it's a permanent water table. And they were basically laying block underwater. And I was sitting there, there's no friggin' way this is gonna work. And you need a pump or something like that to keep it pumped out long enough to let that. And it's no. It's up. They've got it covered. And because that's the other thing too is I'd never seen a septic system until they got here that didn't have an access port of some kind. And it's a single chamber septic tank that there's no. Yeah, I don't know how that works, but
Everything works for them. So
that they somehow can make it work. But and so like I say, being able to have a different thought perspective is sometimes really good too, and it can be limiting if you don't. What I'm trying to do as far as the morning walks and the chicas, I don't know what we're calling these morning condo videos, talking head videos, is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm gonna do the morning walkabouts. On Tuesday, Thursday, we're going to do the talking head style. And that way it kind of breaks up both. And it gives me a day or so to, find a new place to go check out.
yeah, I'm writing it down so I put it away.
Yeah, I've met some people like that. What's kind of bizarre for me is a lot of things that I read, I can remember. Somebody managed to go find a, I don't know if you guys had them in New Zealand, but the Dick and Jane readers that we used to have in first, second grade in grade school. Somebody found one and showed me a couple pictures, and I was able to tell you what was on the stories and what was on that page. That no, that the scheduling is kind of a legit thing because we're still working out the schedule, and so it's not written in stone. And there's days that we miss. This Monday we missed. What were we doing Monday? We were doing something Monday, and wound up not being able to do the video at all. And I kind of feel bad because we didn't do Chica Chica either. And again, I'm trying to still continue to post Chica Chicas.
Oh, I went. That's the one. We went to the Cafe London. We picked up fruits and vegetables, and then you get a ticket.
Oh yeah.
And then I get my laboratory. Oh, see, I'm trying to think everything that day.
Yeah.
And then we get my laboratory results, and then we rest here, and then.
Yeah, that morning was kind of busy and horribly confusing. I think we did a really short video that day.
Yeah.
That we did do a.
Yeah, we went to Cafe London. Okay.
I think we did do a short live stream that morning.
I think it is important to have fun and not let this turn to.
Yeah, it turned into a job, and it is, and that's part of the thing is I do enjoy doing this.
That's good because if you don't do this, you get bored and what's
I
the
get
word?
bored horribly.
What's the word that you said? That you love doing this. That
kind of gives me
put you on track.
Yeah, it kind of gives me it kind of gives me a purpose.
A purpose, that's the word. Like because would you share that story that you were depressed? Remember that time that you get injured?
After.
Yeah, you could share that. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm checking on timing. I try to keep these to about an hour. That way, it's trying to be as respectful of you people's time as I can, but not so short that it's not worth turning into.
Yeah.
Live streams seem to work really well about an hour. A few people I've seen go 2, 3, 4 hours on these things.
1 hour is good.
An hour is good for us, but I've still got about 15 minutes. And so I'll kind of relate what she's talking about. That
Yeah.
in 2015, in November, I jacked up my back at work.
Yeah.
And then they thought I just sprained a burst.
No different schooling from the US. The plus school much.
That
Yeah.
it took about a year for things to get straightened out. And then on top of it, what really added to the confusion is late November 18th, 20th is when I hurt the back. The doctor gave me 2 weeks with no duty, which worked out in a really cool thing because that was just as she was getting her green card.
And work.
And so it let me help her get all that stuff done without having to miss time from work. And then they gave me like 3 more weeks of light duty to see how it was going to work, and it was still really painful.
Yeah.
And he said it's just going to take some time, and that he tried to let me go back to full duty, and I wasn't at work a freaking week, and I caught my feet up in a guy wire on a tree
on January.
in January,
And
I broke my elbow. That the 2 small bones that run down here, that I flaked off the end of one of them, and so I had to have
back injury and
a radial head replacement.
Yeah.
And so because of that, and that one was a lot more invasive, that they needed to go in and do a bunch of work to, that the back never got canceled, but it got put on a back burner.
Yeah.
And so I was still seeing, the physical therapist and stuff like that for the back, but then it got this included. And then in April, when this was healed well enough for them to go back and try light duty, and try full duty, the back was worse than ever because it just wasn't getting the proper exercise that it needed, and it just wasn't a great thing. But because of that and other confusion that went on, because the place I was working at had completely even forgotten about the back injury.
Yeah, they want to close.
That they didn't realize that the case was still open. That I had to remind them of that because some things that went on. And so to make a long story short on that it took about 2 years, and I finally ran out of light duty time for it.
Yeah.
And so they finally sent it to the state, and the state said, no, it's a permanent partial disability.
It was a long process indeed, right?
Yeah. And so a lot of the hobbies and stuff that I used to enjoy, I couldn't do anymore. I used to enjoy rebuilding cars. I used to enjoy doing a lot of housing projects.
Yeah.
All I've ever done my entire life was construction.
Yeah.
And we put new windows in the house, and I was really hedgy about that because of being nervous about getting caught on camera and stuff like that. Some stuff I'd heard.
But your friend is helping you too.
But I had a friend helping me too, so that and we were kind of keeping an eye out for anybody that wasn't supposed to be in a neighborhood. But I was able to do one a day. That was it. And I was a seriously hurting unit. That what we wound up doing is do one, take a day off, do one, take a day off. Yeah. And this is something that realistically I should have been able to do all 4 windows in a day without a huge problem.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't happening. That I have a 1976 MG Midget that I got just before I met her, and that poor thing's been kept, taking back burner and back burner and back burner. And then finally, after the dust settled, that I went out to try and do some work to it, and I was able to be out there 20 minutes. Between it sitting so low to the ground and after being set for almost 4 years, and a lot of the things starting to freeze up and stuff like that, to where you were having to, wrench on it literally. It just killed me enough to the point where I couldn't do it anymore. And so I'm winding up giving it to my son.
Yeah.
But with that and not being able to do that and it being so difficult to do it, I just didn't have a sense of purpose anymore, that I didn't do anything. And
You get so
I'd wind up sitting up on the
depressed.
couch just watching YouTube videos and didn't do anything. And so I got one of the people at church, that was talking about it, and he knew that I kind of like doing photos and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and kind of handed me a camera and suggested start doing that. And he said any can photos, videos you get, gonna be better than I would get, because I'm not gonna be able to be there, so it'd be none.
Yeah.
So don't worry about the greatness of them. And that kind of began the process of doing this, and that's when we started doing the channel. And I started learning a lot more about photo and video and doing stuff like that. And the guy from church helped a lot in the very beginning. But this wound up giving me a sense of purpose, because after a month or two of sitting there on a couch, I was just horribly bored and depressed.
You did. You are.
And that I'd literally get up, give her a ride to work, come back to the house and sit in front of the TV watching YouTube videos all day. And when it was time to get up and go give her, I'd get up and go give her a ride back home. And that was my life for
2 years.
that was my
1 year
life
and
off
a
and
half.
off for about a year and a half.
A year and a half. Yeah.
And it just got to the point where I was so bored and frustrated. And
You started volunteering. You started.
but yeah, after I got started doing the videos and stuff, that's when I started, volunteering again, and starting getting out and doing some stuff again. And it kind of helped give me the purpose to get moving again. And that's kind of what I needed, is that little bit of kick in my tail.
Yeah, because we supposedly expect the retirement on 2021 of June, right?
Yeah, our original retirement date was June of 2021, that I would have had all of my qualifying time in to retire. And as it worked out, because of a back injury, because of being on disability through the state,
It was early, like 2018, 19.
18, 19, something like that. 18.
Oh, April 2018.
Yeah, April 2018 is when I got my disability retirement.
April 1st.
And the state kicked in about a year before that. And then finally Social Security kicked in this January. That one was a fiasco from the get-go.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely a good story to tell, like.
So yeah, Brandon, that I do this. It kind of sometimes I let it sometimes turn into a job, but for me, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It gives me something to do that I can do.
It's not a job. It's like a passion. You're turning it to your passion. Like if you like it, you call it a passion. Because if you don't like it, you're forced to do it.
Well, and that's kind of a.
It's like the same.
It's kind of an expression that people have, that if you can find a job you truly love, yeah, you'll never have to work a day in your life.
Yeah, it's the same.
And I do enjoy this a lot, and I have always been a tech guy, that I've always liked computers and this type of stuff.
It's the same with me. Like from time to time, kind of like going back, working in my field, and not really forcing and getting tired and.
Well, and that's kind of the advantage of the point you're at right now, is you don't have to work, but you can work whenever you want.
Yes. And if I need money, so. If I need
to
save,
and if you
savings, I'm kidding.
If you want to get mama papa something extra special, you can go make a few extra bucks.
Or we go for travels or something, if we plan for big travels. So yeah. All right. Going back to the States for solar eclipse.
Yeah, that's one thing we do want to do, is 2024, April of 2024. I'm not sure the exact dates in the very beginning, that there's going to be a total solar eclipse that passes through my hometown.
Going to Niagara Falls.
It's going to be almost centered over Niagara Falls. And so, although I would love to go up to Niagara Falls to see it, and because she's now got her citizenship, getting over to Canada wouldn't be a big issue. But yeah, I can picture that'd be horribly expensive for hotels up there and be insanely overcrowded.
We'll see.
So, but in our hometown, it won't be too bad. And it will still be a total eclipse. It's just going to be a fairly brief one that it's going to be less than a minute of total eclipse. But what we're definitely planning on going back for that. Oh. The morning sickness
Not really gone, but it's
significantly better.
yeah.
Okay. That's definitely a good thing. And again, that's a big part of the reason for the house is that way mama and papa can come whenever they want. There's no stress levels in it. If we get one closer to here, not out in Cordoba or something like that, that they can come by bus and just grab a cab to the house. In Cordoba, they could still grab a cab, but it would be a little bit more expensive. And we could definitely come get them. When I get this link finished up, that we can easily come get them.
Yeah. Thank you, Brandon. We appreciate you too for watching us. Did you the Philippine experience it?
You went through a disability issues as well. That they can be interesting and definitely a bit of a drawn out thing.
Yeah. So we're 1 minute to go. No, less than 8 seconds, 7 seconds. We thank you so much.
We hit that magic 1 hour mark.
Yeah. We thank you so much for watching us and asking questions. And
tomorrow morning will be one of the walkabouts, Philippine experience. If any of you people have someplace in the city or nearby you want explored, shoot me a message either in the comments or if you're on our page or Facebook page, shoot us a message.
Oh, Brandon also 1.5 for the VA for my disability.
We got a friend of ours that's 5 years into.
Yeah.
He's got a 30% and he's trying to up it, and he's got lawyers that said it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
And the VA is just tabling it. They're not making a decision on it, and they're not denying it. They're not approving it. They're not doing anything. And every time that they try to, the lawyers try to light a fire under them, that they come back, well, we're doing this. We're waiting for this. I can definitely feel for your pain on that one. That mine was about 2 years with a Social Security.
Yeah.
And I finally got a partially favorable decision.
It's also a godsend. It's a godsend.
It was definitely godsend in timing.
It's like all that's happening right now. It's like all perfect timing. You know, like us coming here in the Philippines, you getting your Social Security, me getting pregnant. It's like, yeah, we did plan all of this, but surely
Yeah,
God
I sometimes
has
joke around that, it seems like God has a really warped sense of humor.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, it's always perfect and
timing.
winding up being a really good thing in the end. But in the moment, it definitely seems like a warped sense of humor. That I definitely can relate to that. We were hoping for a pretty decent back settlement, but we didn't get that. But we got the settlement from Social Security to where it kicked in just shortly after we moved here.
Yeah.
The lawyer we were using, it was expecting it to get kicked back, to have to go back through another judge. And it was reviewed and decided partially favorably in the fact that they approved it, but not the onset date. They only approved the onset date to last April.
Yeah.
So I only got like two months worth of back pay. But we're out of here. If you guys want me to go someplace in particular, shoot us a message either here or on our Facebook page, and I will try my absolute best to make that happen because I'm actually kind of out of ideas on areas to go explore. So,
Bye, everyone.
mabuhay!